my frugal friends. How's everybody doing? We are doing really well. Thank you for asking. Today's video, I am pulling out the stops. I am going to compare being frugal with being cheap. And this is just something I was thinking about, and I'll explain how I got to this, okay? But if you're new here, welcome. We are an early retirement couple, my husband and I, and we live on a fixed income in the Northeast, which is one of the most expensive places to live. And we show you how we do it and how we make our money stretch to have wonderful, beautiful things at a lower cost. So let's get to this. This is what prompted my video. The other day on my frugal haul of groceries, I had gotten these beautiful chicken breasts with the bone in for 99 cents a pound, or $1 a pound. Anyway, they were big, they were beautiful, and Paul took the meat off the bone. And there were all these chicken breast bones left, and they still had like little pieces of meat on it and the skin. And I was like, I can't throw these away. I have to repurpose these bones and this, I hate to say chicken fat, but that's exactly what it was. I have to repurpose that. I can't throw this away. And I stopped myself and I was like, wait a minute. These are chicken bones. They're not cooked, which in my mind, I'm thinking 10 times more flavor than using a chicken carcass to make broth. I'm going to use them. I am going to make a creamy spinach tortellini soup with these bones. To me, I am not being cheap. I am being frugal. But in other people's eyes, maybe that is too much. So I went online, that really got me thinking. So I went online and I found this and I want to share it with you, and I'm going to read it because I'm not going to memorize this. And I tried to find where it came from even. I linked it, I clicked on it, and it just kept taking me back to like nobody's page. So I'm going to read it to you. And if you wrote it, thank you. And please tell me down below you wrote it and I'll give you credit. But honestly, I couldn't find an author. Cheap people are driven by saving money regardless of the cost. Frugal people are driven by maximizing total value, including the value of their time. Being cheap is about spending less. Being frugal is about prioritizing your spending so that you can have more of the things you really care about. And I thought, that's us. That's us exactly. But now I had to dissect this further because it's too close, So this is what I came up with. Number one, cheap and frugal people both enjoy saving money, but usually frugal people will not do so if it hurts or embarrasses others. Now, I'm not talking about if you do not have the money. This is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about you do have the money. Okay? If you do not have the money, that's something different. You don't spend it because you don't have it. This is different. This is if you do have the money. And we're differentiating between the cheap and the frugal person. This would be an example of what I just read. Embarrassing others. This is you went out to eat with some friends, hypothetically, and you have the money to cover the meal and tip. The time comes to tip your wait staff. And you purposely tip 10% because you just don't want to give them your money. They have earned a good 18 to 20% tip. Their service was impeccable. You have the money, you just ate out. Another would be you go out with a bunch of coworkers. Everybody pretty much orders the same thing. The bill comes and you sit and you scrutinize that bill and nickel and dime the people you're with. In other words, maybe you're going to get caught having to put in an extra $5 and you make a stink not to put in that extra $5. That is not frugality in my mind. That is not being gracious and kind to the people you're eating with. Do you see the difference? So that is, cheap and frugal people both enjoy saving money, but usually frugal people will not do so if it hurts or embarrasses others. Okay, number 2, cheapness goes by the bottom line price. Frugal people go by quality, quantity, and enhancement to life. What do I mean? I shop sales. I buy my foods with coupons and digital coupons. I shop thrift stores, etc. Because I take that money and then use it for things that may be of better quality, maybe better quality cookware that I can use. I know I have a special occasion like a wedding coming up and I need to put money aside for that. It's priorities. Okay, it's not the bottom line that I am going to buy this item because it is inferior quality, but it is the cheapest and I'm going to buy it just because I don't want to part with my money. Again, total difference. Okay, number 3, being cheap is all about spending less. They just don't want to spend their money, basically. That's their choice, of course, but frugality is about watching where we spend our money and getting more of what is important to us. Where being cheap, I think, is just not wanting to spend your money. A lot of what we buy is an imaginary game in our head that this item is going to make us more beautiful, more popular, more charming, whatever. And that's a fallacy. But there are times when we need to present ourselves in such a way that we are neat and clean and put together. And that may cost just a little bit extra. I'm a frugal person and I have a pair of black shoes that have laces that are scuffed. Now I've got my little black shoes, they're scuffed and the laces are torn on them. A cheap person may continue to wear the scuffed shoes and the laces that are broken. A frugal person may look and say, for a minimal amount of money, I can replace the shoelaces and use some black shoe polish for a minimal amount of money, and my shoes look beautiful now. And that's where I have to say, I can sit back and reassure myself that I am not a cheap person, because my goal is when I watch how I spend my money, or I reuse, or I repurpose, or I try to go for zero food waste, that is so I can take that money and do something more important with it. It is about using and giving our money away in a resourceful, creative, I think also mindful way that will bless ourselves and bless others. So now I will show you what prompted this entire little lesson here was the chicken bones. So I am going to show you this and then you tell me at the end, am I frugal or am I cheap? So remember those beautiful chicken breasts for 99 cents a pound? Paul was kind enough to fillet them for me. He took the meat off the bone, and there's the bone. And what he did was, I'm going to show you, we used our food saver, and he packaged, they're pretty thick. So he put one in each package, and then here's all the bones and the fat. Let me back up so you can see this. Yeah, beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is take all this and make a stock out of it, because there is so much meat still left on that and so much flavor in those bones. Yeah, just a beautiful, for 99 cents a pound, we're going to have some really great meals out of this. I put a little olive oil in the bottom of the pan. I'm cutting carrots. I told you every time I cut carrots, Dixie Belle does this. So there's onions, there's carrots, there's celery, and then I took the bones with the meat and the fat on them, put them right in the pot, and what I will do is cook this down. I'm going to brown it and saute it all before I add the water. I want the richness of the meat and the vegetables to come through with the olive oil first, and that will render down the chicken skin too that's on there. So, and then we will take the fat off the top of it after it cools, but for right now, we want that flavor. So here's the chicken broth. So this was just the bones, basically, and the skin from the 4 beautiful chicken breasts that I paid $1 a pound for. Now what I'm going to do is, you see all this yellow? I'm going to skim that off, the majority of it, only because that's fat. But I'm going to leave a little at least. That's pretty good. But look at how much I took off. So you can see that that's just pure chicken fat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to strain the broth now, because being that I used the chicken breast, there's probably bones. I pulled the big pieces of meat and bone out, but I want to strain this so I have a clear stock. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to push it down to get all that taste of the vegetables out. But you don't want to waste it because it gave great flavor, and literally what we're doing is getting this all out of here. And you can very well use it to keep them in and do it that way. I just do this when I'm eating the soup and not just making a stock. So there you go. And we have a beautiful chicken broth now. I want to show you how much meat is left on the bones. These are the bones I showed you that we put in. Look at all this. So I'm going to add this right to the soup, the broth I have, because there is no reason why. Look at this. And people throw this out, and this is just flavor, and it's meat. I mean, this is perfectly good meat to put in your chicken soup. And this was what was left on the bones. So we're getting the most out of those. Look at this. Out of those $1.99, no, $1 a pound. They were 99 cents a pound or $1 a pound. Chicken breasts. And this is why look at these chunks of meat. Just make sure you get the bones out if you do it this way. Please, that's why I strain it. You don't want anybody getting caught with a bone. Look at this. Uh-oh, my animals. Can you hear Peaches? Peaches is my kitty. I don't know if you met, Dixie's jumping on me while I'm doing this. There's so much meat here. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, but I just wanted to show you, you have to see this puppy jumping on me, that people throw this out, and there is so much food here. So we don't want to waste anything. Zero food waste. Remember how much, look at this. Remember what I'm always telling you. I got all the meat off the bones. I want to show you. Look at this. These were bones that you would have just thrown out. Look at this. Oop. Oh no, that's like a cartilage. Cartilage. There you go. But look at this beautiful meat. All white meat. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to freeze this until we are ready to have, I have a bag of tortellini in the freezer, and we will have a tortellini chicken soup, and I'll add a little heavy cream to it, and it will be out of this world. And this is literally from the bones of the chicken breast that Paul cut all the meat off of. And you can see how much more there still is. Zero food waste. I am attaining that. I am trying to. I haven't attained it yet, but I'm in the works. So I hope this encourages you. So the broth is boiling now, and we are going to make a creamy chicken tortellini soup. So here, so I'm going to put in like a ½ teaspoon of cornstarch, and then I am going to add, the recipe I looked at called for heavy cream, but I really don't want to use that. That's like a little too much. It would probably be decadent and delicious, but we're going to use milk, and we're thickening it a little with cornstarch. Now I'm going to add this slowly, and we will see how this comes out. I am going to add a little spinach in now. Okay, and then I think I maybe should have put this in a bigger pot, but I didn't, so let's see what happens. And now I have a 14-ounce bag of tortellini. Now what the tortellini is going to do is the starch is going to thicken this up a little bit, the starch from the pasta. And I think I told you, I always add my pasta directly to the soup because Paul doesn't like a lot of broth. He'd rather almost have it stew-like. So this is what I'm doing. And I am going to put the whole bag in there. Let's see how we're doing. I think I should have put, well, maybe not. Maybe we could do this. Don't do this at home. Use a bigger pot, okay? Please. And let's see what we got. Okay, that's the whole bag. This is the last of it. And now tortellini cooks really quickly. These literally cook, let's see what it says. I'm reading 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll be right back. It's done, it's plated. We've got the tortellini, the chicken, the spinach. We're gonna put a little of some grated Parmesan on it. And those chicken bones that we made this stock from have served us very well. We eat a lot of soups here. They're economical, they're delicious, and you know what? New York's cold until about June, right, Paul?
That's right.
So, bon appetit. I hope you enjoy this. That was so delicious. We ate it the other night, and I was just like, it was like almost as good as, I think it was as good. Olive Garden makes a creamy chicken gnocchi soup, but I used tortellini, and I think ours was just as good. The only thing that Olive Garden has was it's a lot saltier, so it has a more robust taste, but once you put that Parmesan cheese on mine, stand back. It was so good. So I hope you got this video, and please leave me a comment down below and let me know what your opinion is of being frugal and being cheap. I would love to know, because I do not consider frugal-minded people cheap at all. In fact, I almost see us as totally the opposite. Totally the opposite. I think we're darn creative, and I think we're generous, and I really am proud of the way we manage our money. And I'm talking about you and I as frugal-minded people. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and become part of my frugal family. Give this a thumbs up. It helps me so much here on YouTube. And leave me a comment. And don't forget to click and hold the bell and go to all, so that every time I make a video, you will be alerted. Thank you so much for spending time with me. You know I love you. I wish you blessings. And until my next video.